Are they excited about Halloween or Diwali, your kids?
Halloween. Reason kids are more excited for these festivals, they've targeted two things that kids love: dressing up like in their favorite character, and second, candy.
The way they talk in English is as if कि वो लोग पता नहीं कौन से country में रह रहे हैं. Like, oh, मेरे baby को चोट लग गई, or like the way they are handling their kids is very different than what the way we were grown up. Neha, when you were younger, did you face any like cultural crisis at that time?
I remember I went to a restaurant with some friends. We ordered a cappuccino and I said, "Can I have a cappuccino?" And they were like, "Oh, अब तो cappuccino नहीं cappuccino बोलती है."
And somehow she's a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan now. She loves Shah Rukh Khan. Husn tera tauba tauba. And I'm like, how does she know? And then she's like, Mama, what is the meaning of husn? अब मैं क्या बताऊँ? Do you like take them to temple? How do you like incorporate your religion on a daily basis?
बचपन से ही when they were babies, we used to play Hanuman Chalisa, especially that Hanuman Chalisa kids वाला जो version है.
Now she loves Ramayan, so she's always Hanumanji's helper who saved Sita ji.
Oh,
so she
Indian parents were posting a dance video of their children, especially girl child, where she's dancing to that song. That was like, oh my god, no, that is completely inappropriate.
With Diwali and Halloween just around the corner, we thought about talking about a topic which is very relatable to all the parents living abroad, and that is raising kids in a multicultural country.
Welcome to the Modern Sakhi podcast. We are your hosts, Neha and Sunena, and today we are going to talk about how we navigate through raising our children in a multicultural country. For us, it's Canada. Both our kids were born and raised here, so we face this situation every single day where we are learning how to balance and teach them about both the cultures and both the traditions of Indian as well as Canadian culture.
So Neha, let's start with Halloween and Diwali. What is are they excited about Halloween or Diwali, your kids?
Halloween. Because I mean they are young, right? They are 4 and 5 years old. So school में और जब TV भी देखते हैं, it's all about the spooky season is here. As soon as, in fact, August से ही मैंने तो Halloween के decorations देखना शुरू कर दिया था. And I'm like, this is too early, man. And trust me, after 31st of October, it'll be everything about Christmas until end of December. So that's the thing, when they're raised and when they constantly see something, that's what they'll be more excited about.
Correct. Like suddenly my daughter knows the word spooky and I'm like, how do you know that, right? And as you said, August से ही उसको August के around से ही तब से मुझसे पूछे when will Halloween come, and she knows what she wants to wear, what she wants to dress up like. I think it's also the excitement about dressing up like a character, and you know, and you can see those things around you, and there are characters. I think Diwali में कुछ character वाला scene नहीं है, तो अभी तक वो relate नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. So like and इस बार तो it's on the same day, so
yeah, I saw a reel in fact where someone, maybe you might have seen it, it was pretty viral, where Diwali or Halloween, I think same day है या back to back है, and there was this person wearing a scary mask and doing Diwali ki
that's
puja.
Too much. Like I feel to be very honest, I feel that's like disrespecting God.
Yeah.
So for me, that reel was not even hilarious, and I'm like, what are you even trying to show? Like, you can balance both. So what we have decided is we're going to pick her up early from daycare, from Montessori that day, and we're going to do the Halloween trick or treating earlier, even if I don't know what time the neighbors are ready for like trick or treating, but I think they leave the candies out pehle se, right?
Yeah, I mean, when my younger one was like 1 year old, तब तो उसका bed time बहुत जल्दी हुआ करता था. Like we would put her to bed by 7. So we were like कि 6 बजे से निकल जाएंगे या 5:30 से. But उस time ज़्यादा लोग थे नहीं, because it was still a little bright outside. But I think by like 7ish, people will start putting. I think as soon as it starts to get a little
7ish, because I was thinking of doing it around 5:30.
Oh, I don't know. It will depend on the neighborhood also. But I think, again, coming back to the topic, the reason kids are more excited for these festivals, at least at this age, is because they've targeted two things that kids love, which is dressing up like in their favorite character, and second, candy.
Yeah.
Right? So I think if we want to teach our kids about our festivals and culture. So I'm not saying like create those attractions, but we have to make it sound fun and interesting for them.
And that's what I'm doing. So basically with Diwali now, अब मैंने decoration थोड़ी बहुत पहले से कर दी घर पे. And also like she knows कि दिवाली पे भी sweets होते हैं. So now she knows like jalebi, she knows laddu. So I think वो attraction करना ही पड़ता है कि मतलब ये सब चीजें बनती हैं दिवाली के टाइम पे, क्योंकि इंडिया में भी like I remember as kids we used to look forward to gujia, I think होली पे, right? And all these other sweet items during Diwali. तो मैंने उसको वो सब थोड़ा सा excitement करा, फिर मैंने उसको बोला कि हम color से रंगोली बना सकते हैं. So she's excited about that now, and now she loves wearing Indian clothes somehow. So now she's excited about dressing up in those Indian clothes, the shiny shoes, because she feels it's a princess shoe.
Yeah. So those things, I think, as they grow a little bit out of the toddler stage, they understand it a little bit better, and then they'll start enjoying it.
Yeah, so I think incorporating that every year is very important. Just like हम लोग पहले कंजक पूजा नहीं करते थे, so we just started doing it this year because I feel now she understands it also.
Yeah,
and even we wanted to like do it in a way that for us also, I think I'm getting a little more religious as I spoke in the previous podcast also, so that my daughter's also in touch with her religion.
Yeah.
So now she knows कि there's a thing called Kanjak जहाँ पे सारे kids की पूजा होती है. So she's like, oh, why are you doing the दूध on my feet? उससे क्यों धो रहे हो आप, So I think that's nice. I think one should keep doing all that, even though it's not a big thing, but even if you do it for like 15 minutes, like the whole celebration or that tradition, they would learn.
Of course. And we are lucky that we live in a country where there's a lot of Indian community. So yeah, that's a little controversial. But
totally desi now.
Yeah. But at least everywhere you go, in fact, even billboards, I see like people, there are billboards wishing happy Diwali or Holi or whatever festival it is. Even in malls, you see it these days. So,
and like Walmart and all these places are even selling Diwali decor items. So that's really good.
That's good. And I think Canada is doing a good job kind of incorporating that culture into their own culture as well, because they know that itne log hai, to of course you should do that, respect all traditions and cultures and religion, but teaching that to children is a little tricky, so you have to figure out fun ways on how to do that, which you have already started. So
yeah, and also I got her some Diwali books. So there are lots of Diwali books on Amazon. I'm going to link it down here.
Yeah.
Where there's like excitement about going back to India on Diwali and what are you doing on Diwali, lighting diyas and everything. So then they start relating to those stories. Oh, Diwali mein aise hota hai and all that. So I think that's also a good way of incorporating that excitement into your child's memory of Diwali.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. For sure.
And also, I wanted to ask you one thing. I know that your family is like totally multicultural in a way because you're from Gujarat. Not from Gujarat, but you're Gujarati.
Yeah.
And your husband is Punjabi. So how do you guys, balance it out as a family?
So to be very honest, language-wise, I'm not the best person to have balanced it perfectly with my kids. Because like you said, I'm from a Gujarati family, he's from a Punjabi family, so he has grown up with speaking Hindi and Punjabi. I have grown up speaking Gujarati at home, and I moved to Canada when I was 15, so I was still a kid in school trying to figure out my own cultural identity. And although puri life उससे पहले मैंने गुजराती में ही बात की थी घर पे, but my first thought that I always think in is English.
Okay.
It's just happened naturally. So back then, this is about 22 years back, there were not as many Indians as there are now in Canada. So I grew up pretty much in a multicultural, multiracial environment over here. So that naturally kind of progressed into my parenting as well.
Okay.
Plus, now that I knew that we have 4 languages that we speak, English, Hindi, Gujarati, Punjabi, I was like, I don't know how to introduce those languages to my kids because I don't speak Punjabi. my husband and I, we speak English and Hindi both. They understand obviously English, but they understand Hindi and Gujarati very fluently, but they might not be able to speak it as fluently.
Correct.
It's basically जैसे मैं पंजाबी समझ लेती हूँ पर बोल नहीं पाती हूँ. Same thing is with them. They understand Hindi and Gujarati, but they only speak a few words here and there. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I think 4 languages is a bit much.
I think that's a bit much, and you cannot like just entirely focus on like just one language, of course, because English is predominant.
Yes.
So then choosing amongst like Hindi, Gujarati and Punjabi is a little difficult. But I think Hindi is like still a common language for both of you. So like you can like incorporate like words.
Yes.
Which
and
they can
did.
use.
Like when my in-laws were here in the summer for 3 months, my mom had sent some Hindi books. So they taught her how to write. My older one who's 5, they taught her how to write the letters E, whatever in Hindi, and then say anar, ba say jo bhi hai. So she used to speak everything, and that's when I realized, "Arey wah, ye to bahut jaldi seekh gayi."
And also because till the age of 5 or 6, they pick up languages quicker as compared to when they're older than 6 years old.
Yeah.
So it's good that we incorporate that in their life अभी से. इसलिए हम लोगों का set है कि बचपन से ही हमने इजना से हिंदी में ही बात की है.
Okay.
Like for us, all of us, our predominant language is Hindi at home. Like of course when you're out though it's difficult when you're working. But घर पे हम हिंदी में ही बात करते हैं. And I really love that about our family because मुझे स्पेशली फैमिली मेंबर से इंग्लिश में बात करने में थोड़ा फॉर्मल लगता है वो ना. इट्स नॉट दैट सेम टच, अपनापन नहीं फील होता है, राइट? सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी दैट वे लाइक एंड of course blessed because in-laws हैं तो even they try to push my daughter to speak more in Hindi and पहले वो until 2 वो कुछ words बोलती भी थी like हिंदी में but then daycare गई and it all went downhill.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole different world, right? School, daycare, they meet so many different kids from,
and then the shows that they're watching is also English, तो उसमें भी सारे words are English and then they relate to English words more. Yeah, but I think now she's all going to be 4 in March. So now I think she started understanding the concept of us speaking in Hindi more. So I remember her coming back home and she was talking about a friend who's Gujarati. Okay. And she's saying, Mama, she's Gujarati. And I'm like, how did you know that? And she's like, she was speaking in a different language. Like she was speaking some other words. She didn't use the word language. She's like, she was saying some other words.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, she was speaking in Gujarati. So even you should try to speak in Hindi. And since then she's got that, she's very intrigued in trying to, speak in Hindi. तो हम भी उसको बहुत push कर रहे हैं अब. जब भी वो मतलब बीच में बोलते हैं ना इसको हिंदी में बोल के दिखाओ तो she'll be like very funnily like she'll say मेरी टेबल मम्मा के बिहाइंड है. मम्मा आपने जीन्स क्यों पहनी है? It's cute and funny, but I'm so happy that she's trying. And like I think by the age of 5 you're going to be more strict about her talking in Hindi.
Yeah,
because at that age she'll be like she'll I think try more.
Yeah, for sure. And one incident I remember with my older one was that obviously they have the Canadian accent because they're born and raised here.
Yeah.
तो वो जब हिंदी में बोलने की कोशिश करती है या गुजराती में कुछ हम सिखाते हैं, for obviously it comes from a very fun and a very good space when we laugh because it's cute, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But when they speak Hindi or Gujarati with that accent, and we used to laugh. And she got so conscious, not when she was younger, now at this age at 5. And she was like, are you making fun of me? Did I say something wrong? Like, ekdam se wo shut down ho gayi. And that's when I realized, oh no, like, we have to be so mindful of the way we react. Although it's not making fun of her, but when she goes to school, there'll be other kids who speak with a little different accent. And I don't want her to laugh at that, even if it's just fun or a joke thing. So तभी मैंने
that's a good tip actually. हम लोग भी मतलब because वो इतना प्यार आता है उस वक्त तो we kind of like oh so cute but I think that's a good tip. Otherwise with age, because now they're learning about emotions and she might feel that she's being made fun of, so it's better to
मतलब हमारे स्टाइल parenting style बहुत हम जब छोटे थे तो बहुत अलग था. Now kids are getting very
aware of their
emotions. Yeah.
Emotions की बात फिर से करेंगे but it's crazy because like हम लोग इतना हिंदी में बात करते हैं फिर भी लाइक माय मॉम इन लॉ द अदर डे शी इज लाइक मैं नोटिस कर रही हूँ कि मम्मा पापा ज्यादा इंग्लिश में बातें करते हैं विद इजना एंड आई एम लाइक नो मॉम मतलब देयर जस्ट वर्ड्स दैट आई यूज इन इंग्लिश मतलब अब हर चीज तो मैं हिंदी बिल्कुल नहीं बोल सकती बिकॉज फॉर देम इट विल बी लाइक ओ देखो देखो बाहर हिरन आ गया एंड आई एम लाइक I can't say that. Like I have to say, मतलब oh see, मतलब देखो there's a deer out. Oh मतलब देखो deer आ गया, or like बारिश हो रही है and they'll be like oh बरसात हो रही है and I'm like no I can't do that.
हाँ वो ज्यादा हो जाता है मतलब ऐसे आजकल कोई हम भी छोटे थे तब ऐसे नहीं बात करते थे लाइक वो पुस्तक देना मुझे like no one says
like वो पुस्तक वाला मतलब they don't say that but I think for them like हिरन मतलब शेर like all that is very easily they can take it out from like they can speak पर हमारे लिए वो नहीं है because we are more English I feel
also like मैंने ये सारे words सिर्फ अपनी हिंदी क्लास में यूज किए थे बचपन में
Correct.
जब मैं फ्रेंड्स के साथ भी बात करती थी I would not say ए यहाँ वहाँ देख हिरन आ गया या वहाँ तो ठीक है I mean उतना तो it's for us also it's a little hard to think कि क्या बोलते हैं शुद्ध हिंदी
हाँ that's a little difficult but like do you like take them to temple and like how do you like incorporate like your religion on a daily basis?
So I think that's a very good question and a point ki rather than just focusing on festive seasons and then not incorporating anything throughout the year, it's important to do it more on a routine basis, daily basis. So what we do is I did not grow up in a very religious family, although we're not atheist or anything, but hum wo roz मंदिर जाना ये सब नहीं करते थे but now I have turned more religious like you said you have so we have a little mandir at home we do that puja every day we light a little diya and agarbatti and bachpan se hi when they were babies we used to play Hanuman Chalisa in their rooms especially at night time तो अभी वो सुन के ना वो सीख भी गए हैं थोड़ा बहुत गाना खुद से and they love it and especially that Hanuman Chalisa kids वाला जो version है I think it's the most popular.
Yeah, and it's very nice. And I like because of that only like Hanumanji was like the first god that Isna could relate to, because like she's seen the whole video and
Bal like Hanuman.
And वो बार-बार उसको सुनना भी अच्छा लगता था because of the characters and Hanumanji's like ऊपर sky में जा रहे हैं ये हो रहा है वो हो रहा है. So and now she loves Ramayan. So she's always Hanumanji's helper who saved Sita ji.
Oh,
so she
so cute.
So she is into that phase these days where she wants to listen to Lakshman ji, Ram ji and the whole story of the Ramayana, right? So I think वही होता है कि like incorporating these small things every day. Like मेरा भी same है कि I'm not very like religious कि रोज temple में दिया जलाना है जो भी but I try to like take her every day to a small मंदिर जो घर पे है थोड़ा बहुत मतलब घंटी बजा दो even that excites kids you know so like they would not understand the meaning of it मुझे भी अभी तक नहीं पता कि घंटी क्यों बजाते हैं all that because I was not always in my house like I was growing up in a hostel but I've seen my mom do it so now I know कि ठीक है these are the steps you know so ठीक है जितना बहुत भी सीख रहे हैं I feel it's good and they'll also learn something
I feel कि हम लोग as the gratitude practice वो करते हैं in front of God and जैसे रात को बच्चे उठ जाते थे कभी-कभी because they would be scared if they had a bad dream or whatever and then we would be like start reciting Hanuman Chalisa.
Oh wow.
So that's what Hanuman ji will keep you safe. Because that's what it is, right?
Yes,
Hanuman
correct.
Chalisa is for that. तो हम वैसे incorporate करते हैं छोटी-छोटी daily habits में.
That's a good tip because my daughter just started having nightmares. Now she's 3 so she understands a lot of things so she knows monsters and everything. So I'm going to start that with her ki Hanuman because I remember when I went to the hostel and many other friends of mine used to have this Hanuman Chalisa underneath and I used to put it underneath a pillow कि कुछ भी अगर डर लग रहा है या बुरा लग रहा है तो हनुमान जी is there to protect us, right? Oh, that's a nice tip actually. I'll do that as well. So 2 tips I learned. What about Hindi movies and stuff? Do you?
No, we don't watch Hindi movies with them. In fact, we don't watch TV when they are around because we just don't want them to get distracted. Because anyway, इतना distraction दुनिया भर में पड़ा है, तो वो खुद के shows देखते ही है. But when it comes to songs, yes. They do listen because हम भी गाड़ी में सुनते हैं. And they like it now. They enjoy Bollywood songs. They enjoy a few Punjabi songs also. They also like that Gujarati song, Gudila
Oh, good. Oh, nice. That's a nice song.
So I think they go by the beats. और जो beats उनको अच्छे लगे, excite करे, they'll listen to it, and we obviously make sure they are age appropriate songs.
Yes.
But they enjoy it, and वहाँ से भी वो pick up करते हैं words. कभी-कभी पूछते हैं what does this word mean? So I think songs are a great way to enjoy also and teach them a few things. So
yeah.
What about
talking
you?
about words? It's so funny. The other day, like she knows this song Toba Toba.
Oh,
so
yeah, it's their favorite.
Yeah, and I think she's seen the video once or twice because we don't really play a lot of video songs. It's mostly like audio.
Okay. Yeah, same.
Right. So she doesn't know anything about the song. So she likes the song of the beat, that the way you're saying. But the other day she came home and she's saying Husn Tera Tauba Tauba. And I'm like, how does she know? And then she's like, Mama, what is the meaning of husn?
I know.
Ab main kya batau? I'm like, face, you know. I'm a face. मतलब कि your face is so pretty, you know. And then I'm like, आपको कैसे पता? Then she took the same friend's name कि वो भी गा रही थी स्कूल में, you know. She was singing. So I'm like, you learned it from her.
Yeah.
But she had this thing. No, I knew from before because she did not want to really say that, you know, I learned it from her. Or maybe she might have learned it from the song that we keep playing. ये भी हो सकता है. Like,
you never know. Kids pick up every small thing.
Yeah. And so we watched one SRK movie with Isna, which is which one is this? कुछ कुछ होता है, ठीक है? पूरा नहीं देखा, like थोड़ा bits and pieces of like Anjali and all that, right? So and somehow she's a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan now. She loves Shah Rukh Khan. Man. So and then उसको था कि I want to listen to Shah Rukh Khan songs. तो अब हम लोग गाड़ी में Shah Rukh Khan songs लगाते हैं. And I recently put some song which is a little recent. And she's like, this is not Shah Rukh Khan. I'm like, no, it is. She's like, no, it doesn't have the same voice. Because she's relating to Shah Rukh Khan having Udit Narayan voice, like the old songs, 90s, right? 90s wala. Yeah. She can't relate to Arijit Singh and Shah Rukh Khan being together.
That's so cute.
It's crazy. But I feel, you know, like audio wise, like Hindi songs अगर आप सुनाते हो थोड़े बहुत, तो it's good, yeah, like they understand.
मैंने like I think उसमें यार ठीक है यार, हर चीज हम इतना फूक के नहीं कर सकते. लेकिन मैंने कुछ videos देखे हैं where a few Indian parents were posting a dance video of their children, especially girl child, where she's dancing to that song. That was like, oh my god, no, that is completely inappropriate.
But yeah, those dance reels of kids, right?
Yeah.
I feel they're so talented, but at the same time, मतलब मुझे थोड़ा मेरे को समझ नहीं आता कि क्या करना चाहिए ऐसे.
Just play better songs that are not objectifying people or women. I think बाकी तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. They will listen to these songs at some point in some party or event or whatever. But yeah, so those kind of balancing and drawing that line, that is a little important.
Yeah, but I remember like me growing up, like I used to also love dancing just the way you did as well. तो तब हम पर इतना सोचते नहीं थे what do these words mean. But I think now kids, they want to know what these words mean. So it gets a little difficult to explain it to them.
पर उस time पे इतने objectifying type of songs नहीं बनते थे. कम थे कहाँ इतने थे, like हाँ थे, of course थे, but आजकल a lot of like every Bollywood movie, if you see the video, not the song.
So that's what I wanted to talk about. So the video these days are going another level where it's more exposure.
Yeah.
But 90s के songs were also
but
very
cringy. ये कौन सा गाना है? कुंडी मत खड़काओ राजा सीधा अंदर आज. If my children listen to that and ask me the meaning of it, I don't know what to say. It's so hard to lie also after a point.
नहीं, that I agree. ये तो हाँ, these are too much.
Yeah, so इतने गंदे मीनिंग वाले songs हमारे टाइम पे कम थे. आजकल थोड़ा ज्यादा है, but
yeah, double meaning songs are more now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is a little too much. But then when we listen to English songs also, then what will you do? Like अब मैंने she like Barbie girl का भी thankfully they have a kid friendly Barbie girl.
Yeah.
So now she's listening to that. But at our age हम लोग वही same सुनते थे. पता भी नहीं था कि उसका मतलब क्या था. Now we realizing, oh, Barbie girl का song का मतलब was actually that.
ऐसे तो कितने गाने हैं मुझे नहीं पता, but my husband loves to listen to lyrics and then he explains and I'm like, oh my god, this is what it means. But अब वो तो होना है तो होगा
ही. Yeah, you can't really do anything. And India में तो फिर तो और भी होता, because they would be more exposed to all these Hindi songs, but then here they'll be exposed to Taylor Swift songs, heartbreak songs. So
it'll keep on going. It's
Yeah.
a loop. It's a never-ending loop.
Yeah.
You just have to figure out how to balance it as much as you can.
Yeah. Neha, when you were younger, when you came here, did you face any like not racism, but like because the way we talk is little different, like our English with more pronounced words? Did you face any like cultural what do we say, crisis at that time?
Yeah, I did. I just यहाँ पे I came when I was a kid, so I picked up a lot of not accent, like I don't have a Canadian accent as you can tell, but certain words which obviously come, right? Like even if you live here for a few months, it will happen. तो मैं जब इंडिया जाती थी वेकेशन में and I would meet my friends or cousins or relatives, they would be like बहुत Canadian accent वाली हो गई है, just because certain words that you speak are not very Indian sounding anymore. Like I remember I went to a restaurant with some friends and we ordered a cappuccino and I said, can I have a cappuccino? Like thoda sa cappuccino wala pronunciation ho gaya, and they were like, oh, ab to cappuccino nahi cappuccino bolti hai.
Oh my
And I'm like, I know mazak mein tha, but for a child who's growing up, who's facing this cultural identity crisis and they don't know where they belong, especially that teenager when you are like, anyway your hormones are all over the place, you feel like it's bad. It affects your self-confidence a lot. So our kids are still young, but I think when they grow up a little and when they visit India, ये थोड़ा बहुत उनके साथ भी होगा, which I feel Gen Alpha will handle it much better than millennials ever did.
No, that's true. But आजकल India में it's no less, yeah. Like I see my nephew and like nieces and other kids also. The way they talk in English is as if कि वो लोग पता नहीं कौन सी country में रह रहे हैं. Like
yeah,
it's always English. And I think it's because of the parents, the way the parents are talking to the kids. Like,
right.
Oh, मेरे baby को चोट लग गई, or like the way they are handling their kids is very different than what the way we were grown up.
Yeah.
So I feel that's too much. यहाँ हम सोचते हैं उसको हिंदी सिखाओ, and वहाँ पे होता है
English. Yeah.
Which is a good thing. English, of course, आनी चाहिए. It's the most spoken language in the world. But I feel with family नहीं होना चाहिए कि मतलब आप इंग्लिश में ही बात कर रहे हो and like
हमारे टाइम पे था कि बोलते थे घर पे इंग्लिश में बात करो क्योंकि इंग्लिश improve होगी because it was a different time.
Yeah,
we're talking about the 90s, but now they're on social media, they watch all these cartoons anyway. School में तो obviously a lot of schools in India have English. So you don't have to necessarily speak at home in English, especially not with an accent. Come on, like even though you're from a high class society living in a big city in India, but you're still in India, right?
And I've seen kids like looking down upon other kids who are not very good with English in India.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है यार, your first language is Hindi and वही रहेगी. Like if in your North India, I mean, but like
and आजकल YouTube, social media पे देख लो, so many creators are becoming successful who don't even speak English.
Correct.
So English doesn't equal to success. It just depends on what kind of person you are and on your skills and talent and all of that. तो ये mindset थोड़ा सा change करना जरूरी है. At least we can try that with our children over here because they are anyway surrounded by English.
Yeah. So for me, like the main reason of her knowing Hindi was also because मुझे था कि जब वो इंडिया वापस जाए तो एटलीस्ट मेरे दादा दादी से बात कर सके, नानी से बात कर सके. लाइक इवन दो वो वर्ड पूरे नहीं बोल पाएगी, which is understandable, but at least वो समझ पाएगी, she can reply back in English and like at least communicate. वरना तो मतलब kids होते जो बात ही नहीं कर पाते, like they're totally aloof and they're like thinking हम क्या बात करें because they can't understand.
Yeah, of course. वो तो नहीं तो यार हमारे बच्चे बड़े होके when they have their own children and then they have their own children and when the generation moves forward, फिर तो हमारी language पूरी खत्म ही हो जाएगी if we stop doing all these things, right?
Yeah. So yeah, like I think language is a very important thing, which
and also incorporating these kind of things in our everyday life also, like you have these Diwali decorations up or like reading books about our culture, food.
Oh, I remember you were talking about your book.
Yeah. So a couple of years back when my kids were a little younger in the toddler stage, I had created this book on it's still on Amazon. We'll link it in the description. So I'd seen someone create a similar book with Asian language. I think it was Mandarin, I believe. So I thought, why not do that with Hindi? So just say A for apple के बजाय, why don't we teach them A for or A for achar, whatever. So that way they can learn ABC also, and they know the food also, how they can associate that with the letter.
Like a English language. That's very cool actually. I'm going to buy it on Amazon.
So they learned a lot. मुझे लगा मैंने ऐसे ही बना दिया just for fun, but they learned a lot. Or in fact, even when they were in daycare, during their birthdays पे you give out gifts and everything, those goodie bags. So उसमें मैंने सारे parents को जो Indian parents थे उनको मैंने वो book भी दी थी.
Interesting.
So that was like yeah, I wish I should promote that more.
You should definitely. It's a very good book, because like with me also, like I always keep looking for these South Asian books and like toys which so that my kid is like more related to India, right? There's this company called Cultural Play Co. I'm going to add their link as well. So they make these food sets, like pretend food sets, kitchen sets. तो उसमें वो they are not like typical वही कि जो हम लोग bread हो गया, egg हो गया, not that. So they have like a small थाली, उसमें एक लड्डू रखा, मतलब गुलाब जामुन है, रोटी है, हरी मिर्च है. So it's so cute because then like this is what she's eating at home, right? So then she can relate to it more.
That's the best way, I think, for instead of us telling the kids as parents, because again we are older, they are younger, hum bolenge shayad wo sune na sune, but these things, like when they play with that or when they read about it, that will actually stick with them more.
But how do you balance the food with kids now? Because now I'm sure they like more Western food as compared to our desi food, right?
वो तो होगा ही, because options भी इतने सारे हैं. And बचपन में when they are just at home, like you cook home cooked food, you feed them, they don't have a choice. They don't even know if there's anything else that exists. But now when they go to daycare, school, they see different kids bringing different foods and they want to try everything. So वही हम तो इंडियन खाना खाते हैं भाई, like we love Indian food and we cook like I would say 80% of our meals are Indian. So they like everything, but they won't eat the same thing 2 days in a row. So that becomes a challenge. Like how do we always keep on innovating things, right? Like 2 दिन अगर मैंने रोटी back to back बना दी, they'll be like, again roti. So
they want pastas because that's what is the most convenient to make at daycares, right?
Yeah. So that also has a huge influence, because those years when their palate is growing, they're eating a lot of food that's served to them in daycare, which is not always obviously not going to be your cultural food. So wo to hoga hi, but then you keep on doing it. Don't give them too many options. That's what I do. Like आज मैंने उनको पराठा दिया जो मैंने 2 दिन पहले भी दिया था, and I was like, यही खाना है तो खाओ, नहीं तो like just eat your snack, there's no lunch. So then when you be a little that way, they're like, okay.
I think that's a very good advice. I also think जैसे I know these people जिनको लगता है कि अरे यार नहीं Indian food खा रहा तो मतलब ठीक है आप Western बना देते हो, which is okay. You can make a healthy version of the Western food also. There's nothing wrong in it. But don't opt for like snacks from like restaurants. ठीक है नहीं कुछ भी नहीं खा रहा, चलो chicken nuggets खा लो. That I'm not okay with. Like rather find another alternative which is healthier from the other cuisine.
Correct.
But not like ठीक है चलो burger खिला देती हूँ या वो करा देती हूँ. Because I remember a friend telling me when she went back to India में ये culture बहुत हो रहा है आजकल, where they're like starting their day off with like French fries and like ordering KFC and like
what?
And my friend is like, I was shocked कि हम लोग यहाँ पे we're trying to preserve our culture or whatever, not even culture, like just healthy habits, and India में it's going the other way. And I'm like, that's just crazy. Like they know about like Coca-Cola and they're like sipping Coca-Cola like crazy.
Oh
and I'm
like, no, like I just go to a next level when I hear these things. But I mean, I'm not saying कि पूरा ही बंद कर दो, कभी मत खिलाओ. That's impractical. हम लोग भी खाते हैं, right? But just try not to make that a habit. And for that, I don't give them an option.
Yes.
तो खाना है तो खाओ. एक दिन यार कुछ नहीं होता अगर नहीं खाया तो. They are not going to like collapse or anything. They'll be fine.
Yeah, मैं भी यही बोलती हूँ अब उसको कि this is your खाना, अगर आपको खाना है खाओ, otherwise you're sleeping hungry.
Yeah. एंड देन उनको ना थोड़ा रियलाइज होता है, अरे हाँ चलो खा लेती हूँ इस बार. थोड़े छोटे थे तभी नहीं होता था, तभी tantrums ज्यादा थे. Now they have that logical reasoning also.
Yeah, I think after 3.5 they start having that
yeah,
feeling
around
okay.
4-ish. Yeah, for sure. So that's the thing. I mean, home cooked, जो भी तुम्हारे family meals है, I think that is the best way you can introduce your cultural foods to your kids on an everyday basis.
Yes, that's true. But also coming to like, inclusivity, just because we're talking about a lot about our Indian culture, but at the same time, I think we do, and we should try to make our kids more inclusive towards other cultures as well, right? Like especially with making friends. Like my daughter, she has a lot of friends who are not Indian, so one should not be like कि अरे वो Indian नहीं तो उससे दोस्ती मत करो या जो भी.
Of course,
you should be like totally open with it. Like I've seen a lot of families where they're very like closed about कि मतलब अपने कल्चर में ही रहो, अपने उसमें रहो, फ्रेंड्स भी अपने कल्चर के बनाओ, which I think is not okay.
Yeah. Firstly, you're living in a country which is multicultural. Like this is not your country. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Like this is not where you originate from. So of course you have to be inclusive. And भले ही आप best friends ना बनाओ दूसरे culture से, but we have that open-mindedness.
Yeah, let your child be best friends with the kid.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there might be times where you cannot relate with with the other child's parent. Like मेरे साथ बहुत होता है. मैं अभी भी I'm more like देसी, कि मुझे देसी friends ही बनाने हैं. And I'm a little reserved कि जब making friends who are not from the Indian
I think that's culture. Also personality. Like I'm also like that a little bit. So that's okay.
Like we should be okay with our kids being friends with other.
Yeah. We should not stop them, because I think we only create those boundaries and barriers, and then when they grow up, they feel like they're lost. जैसे वो ABCD होता है, American born confused desi. We don't want that to happen to our children. They are born in Canada, raised here, so of course they're going to be a part of the Canadian culture.
Yeah,
we cannot stop that and be like nahi, Indian, because they'll, at one point I remember my daughter saying that, but mom, we are not Indian. We are born here, we are Canadians. So that's when I realized that we should respect the culture where they are born and raised in as well, along with our own, of course.
Now I tell her, because even she had that question, so I tell her, yes, you are Canadian, but हम लोग इंडिया से हैं, तो हमारा origin is from India. Of course, she doesn't know any of these terms, origin क्या होता है and all of that. But I keep telling her, we are living, you are a Canadian because you're born here, but Mama and Papa, we are from India, so we are Indians.
Even if she doesn't understand, it's registering in her subconscious. So when she grows up and understands those words, she'll be able to connect it later on.
Yeah. And like we should be thankful to our, like, the country where we are living in. So, that's very, very important.
I mean, just be grateful. Like, that's what I feel. Like, I came here, we got so many good opportunities here. So why like, put other cultures a little lower than ours? Like, we have to be inclusive.
And especially when like a country like Canada, who's like opening up to so many different cultures. I had this person come yesterday for giving a flyer for like door cleaning or window cleaning, and I was like, whatever, the conversation happened. Then he's like, when is your festival? Dewa, and he could not pronounce it, but he was trying to know. And I don't even have any decorations outside as such, but he knew about like Diwali because of the I'm sure the market has a lot of stuff about Diwali. So when they are so like inclusive about having other festivities, so we should also incorporate those.
Like even in their schools they have like they have this thing ki Diwali hai to kids dress up. A lot of kids dress up and go. So if they are trying to include our culture and religion and festival, I think we should also be open to that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm sure like they're going to face a lot of other issues once they're growing up, because abhi to they're very young. But let's see how that goes, and we'll keep you guys posted about how we're dealing with these multicultural identity crisis. But till then, stay tuned.
I hope you guys enjoyed this and found it relatable. If you did, then please do give this a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and leave some comments down below, and let us know what your experiences have been raising kids in a multicultural country.
Bye.
Bye.